Okay, let me see if. Hey, all right. One person is watching. Hey, if you're watching, comment something so you know that my mic and uh, everything else is working. So let me know. Yeah, this is gonna be the kind of a wrap up of the year for us. I was gonna do an actual video, but I'm still editing other videos right now, so I'm just gonna do it the short and easy way, the live way, so all of our viewers can watch it and see what's up. So, um, I see one person watching. What if I can log in? Give it a couple minutes for people to come on. Joshua, I see Joshua. What up, Joshua? It's 2000 end of 2021, so 2021's coming in. I got a couple of videos coming out, and I just kind of want some input from everybody going forward. Because we are planning some things, and some things need to be announced. Some directional changes in the channel here. So things to expect and things to basically just bounce off some of you guys. See if you guys still want to watch that stuff or not. Because majority of our views are coming from a certain type of fishing, and we've been doing other types of fishing, and we want to explore other things too. So we're just gonna. Yeah, we're Tulsa area. Tulsa area. We're actually from Owasso area, so you know where that's at. So okay. Hoping I'm coming in good, right? Coming in good. What is VOT for the information? All right, volume, huh? Maybe I gotta speak closer like this. I don't know. Oh, cool. Admin. I know where that's at. Okay. Not gonna be a very long video. Like I said, I just want to kind of address a couple of things. It should be okay. For the most part, like I said, the channel's been doing pretty good. Yeah. If you came to the OKC championship, you would have definitely seen us there. But since you weren't there, I'll give you like a little rundown of what happened. You really wasn't gonna go because I didn't think we qualified until they said that. Uh, well, John Quinn, I think you guys know who he is, because I think he posted up that you had to qualify to go, and we only fished. I only fished one event. Tried to make it out there to two or three, but I ended up winning just one, and I guess that was enough to qualify for the championship. And then even right up to the week of the championship, we weren't sure if we were going to go because there was a lot of like kind of switching schedules on. So I don't know. They started with Dripping Springs and they wanted to go to somewhere else, and then basically we were saying if it wasn't Drip and it was something farther away, we weren't going to go because we didn't even have it in our schedule to kind of go fish that weekend. So But then I was in the talks with somebody else, and they were saying that it's definitely coming back to drip. So if it's coming back to drip, then I like that lake. I mean, I've done well in the lake. That lake kind of suits my style of fishing. So 2 nights into it, I think I was talking to my brother. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? We should go there." So long story short, we got there 5 minutes late. We paid at the boat ramp and took off. By the time I took off, everybody was already fishing. So late to the show again, but ended up doing pretty good. Ended up winning it actually. So pretty cool for a win. I haven't been on that lake for a little bit, but you guess right. You get out there, everything kind of falls into play, and uh, I usually fish deep on that lake. I don't have a lot of fancy electronics. Well, I got enough electronics, but that day, I don't know if you watched the video or not, but I caught two fish fairly quick. I started flipping. I caught three, four, five. I caught my limit flipping reeds, and then I fished kind of offshore. So I do just from being there from a while ago. I knew there was some brush around some areas, and when I got out there, the brush was still there. So I just went to work. Around it was around 11 or 10. I already caught most of my fish right around 10, 11. I was just moving around trying to catch other bigger fish, but I caught that big one maybe 20 minutes in on it was a small little square bill. And then I caught an 18 and a half on a big brush hog with a creek channel swing, and that was it. And a bunch of other 15s and 14s in the mix. uh, shit still got it. That's pretty cool. Brother, I love your videos. I'm going to Texoma tomorrow morning. Did you ever look at that Akumo Rockaway rod? Well, you can watch it. I haven't looked at it yet. This coming year, I'm probably gonna do more reviews on rods and reels and stuff like that, for sure. But let us know how Texoma goes, because we are planning a trip out of Texoma too. Either it's gonna be during the spawn, during the post spawn, or probably in August, September, because it's an itch we need to scratch, because it's been a long time. Every time we plan a trip to Texoma, it's never during the time that I want to go. It's always during like a holiday season type thing. And every time we get out there, it's always like a Memorial Weekend or something, and there's just like a million people. And fishing's never good with a million people on the lake. So they want to do just like pick a day and go on a random weekend. It's not a holiday weekend. Probably Airbnbs are going to be a little cheaper. Lake's not going to be crowded, things like that. But I really want to go during the post spawn, like a true post spawn, probably mid May, early May, mid May. Probably when the stripers are post spawn, you want to go with those spoons out. That's what I want. That's the dream trick, right? I just want to try to spoon on those points and just smash stripers on you. Like if we do that, you guys will hear about it. Mm, do you use? Yeah, yeah. Some guy asked, Wilbur Valesco, do you use spoons for tripers? Stripers, yeah, you do. They love it. You should. If you're not, well, spoons are more for. There's different types of spoons too. So there's like flutter spoons, there's slab spoons, and then there's I call them casting spoons. So those are like the uh, Acme Castmaster. That's a casting spoon. So if you're on the bank, you're pretty much limited to casting spoons. If you're on a boat, you can play all three of them. But yeah, they work really really good. Fang Lee, I noticed you guys don't post up or don't post up much striper fishing. I'd love to see y'all go more after 20 pound or home stripers. Get to keep the video. Yeah, that's actually what tonight's kind of about. Fang. The coming year, we're gonna throttle back a lot on the kayak and all the bass. Unless kayaks can turn into striper fishing days or hunting days, something like that, the kayaks are at the point where we need to retire them and buy new kayaks. So I've made a decision. I'm not gonna buy. Well, I'm not gonna invest another $5,000 into the kayaks. So we'll still fish a lot of kayak stuff, but we're gonna mainly be going back to striper stuff. So because I don't know if you guys know, I don't know if everybody knows your boat, but we bought a boat. We bought a 2011 aluminum boat. It's 20 foot long. We just the review video just came out, and we haven't really used it. Like we bought a boat, and for the most part, like we took it out on maybe 10 trips, maybe 12 trips this year. Compared to the kayak, because kayaks were out maybe 30 trips. So we need to flip flop that, right? We need to do 30 trips on the boat and 10 trips on kayak. So things like that. So we're still trying to balance what we wanted to do exactly. Been talking to my brothers about this. 47, he's always like 100% stripers. Uh, my other brother, Hua, which is hybrid killer, he's very competitive in nature and he just wants to compete. So for him, it's like tournaments, stuff, tournaments are the right side. Tournaments tomorrow, tournaments the following day. That's hybrid. That's how he wins everything too. He's very competitive. I'm kind of the guy in the middle. I like tournaments and I like strikers. So I'm trying to balance that for 2022. But yes, definitely. Put it this way: if the decision comes down to should we go tournament fishing or should we go striper fishing, we're going to pick stripers. We made it a decision that if there's a conflict between the two, we're definitely going striper fishing. It's just because, like, for the guys that never tournament fish, or you guys, you got to give it a try. I mean, it's one of those things where uh, it's definitely a roller coaster ride when it comes to tournament fishing, just because that it's so unexpected, especially in flatfish tournaments. It's so unexpected. The days you feel like you're doing so good, you're definitely smashing this tournament. You're definitely bringing it home with $1,000 check that day. And lo and behold, you find out you're in like 10th place. And you're not the only one that caught really, really good, right? So you don't even get any money. You're just kind of like, I had the best day of fishing my life. And yet, I suck. Versus, and then there's the other days, right? Where you kind of go out and you're like kind of like Dale was just explaining, where I fished the championship for the Oklahoma City kayak guys with the kayak guys, and I get there late. I haven't been on the lake. I haven't practiced. I haven't done all this other stuff. And there's a couple of guys that fish that lake a lot, right? And I know what that lake is capable of putting out. So we go fishing, and with 30 minutes left, I meet up with one of the guys, and I start talking to him. That's it. I told him I've got like 82 inches, 83 inches in the fish, and he goes, "Man, you probably won." And I said, hold on. This lake should put out 90 plus inches on any given day. It's capable of it. I've personally done it. It turns out everybody struggled that day. And I was actually the guy that caught him fairly good and ended up winning. Like I won the tournament. I think I won like $500, something like that. And you didn't think you won. Like during the whole day, you kind of like, I should be in the top 10. I should be in the top 10. But then they announced your name and you won. And it's like, what is going on? So that's tournament. That's tournament life. So it's got its own peaks and valleys. Okay, so that's what keeps us going in the tournament. It's just those emotions that nothing else can replace the world tournaments. It's a totally different flavor. It's not one rod or one bait. One rod with like maybe five baits. It's see all that up there. That's only half the rods we run. So I mean, you know, striper rods included, but every time we go to the lake, it's almost. I try to carry 8 rods, a minimum of 6 every time, and it almost seems like every lake you're gonna go out with like six of those rods will not be carried over to the next lake. Is how I kind of feel about it. So it's always a mind twister. That's what's so awesome about the world of bass fishing. For the guys that don't do it, uh, one one day you're on a lake that's super clear, super deep. You're fishing for smallmouth, spotted bass. The following week, the following tournament, you're going to a real shallow lake. It's super muddy, and there's stumps everywhere. Okay, so it's a totally different game that you have to play. So like I said, one day you're on like 10 pound test, and that's a big line. So you might throw six, eight, 10, and the 10 might be a big line. You go to the water, a lake that has grass. You're throwing 80 pound braid. You're throwing 20 pound fluorocarbon. It's a completely different like thing for a fisherman to do because the reason we got into it was because we did the striper stuff for a while, and I felt like we did pretty good. Like we're pretty good anglers, pretty good at it. You can almost predict them pretty well. And then it kind of got boring. Okay, it kind of got bland. And then the bass fishing kind of took over because don't get me wrong, the stripers pull better, the stripers smash the lures better. It's more exciting. It's actually a fight, right? But the puzzle to figure them out, it's not that hard. The puzzle to figure out bass fishing is a lot harder, especially in a contest type of situation or environment, because you're trying to outsmart the fish while trying to be the smartest guy out of the pack too. So that's why it's a really good world to be in, the tournament life. And on top of that, it'll force you to go, if you truly follow the tournament world and you want to, say you want to win the Angler of the Year title, it will force you to do things that you've never thought you were possibly going to do or capable of doing. Okay, so the guys that win the Angler titles, those guys are good. I mean, that's why my brothers won it 3 times, and I've come close twice. So I've come close. I one time missed it by 1 point because of rookie mistakes. In the past year, actually not past this year, 2021, I missed it by like 2 or 3 points, something like that. That's just because I wasn't really into it, And then ended up being like, oh shit, you're actually in contention to win. So focused a lot last 2 events and came up short. It's all good. Yeah, Joshua, try to hit it hard because the tournament. The thing about the tournament world is it also forces you to learn new techniques. So say you know a certain technique, but you know you're going to a lake that that technique's not going to play, right? So it forces you to do things you're not capable of doing. It forces you to adapt real fast. Okay, so that's definitely a big plus that you can later use it and apply it to pretty much anything fishing maybe. So yeah, maybe we'll. I mean, if you guys, hey, put it this way, if you guys are coming to Prague again, I will try to be there. Uh, I really like the Prague Lake. I really like Conwa. I really like Sportsman's. I've never been to Sportsman Lake, so if we come there, I will try to come out there. Especially some of the Saturday tournaments, I'll try to make our way out there. But anything with grass, I am just a big grass guy right now. So I love the grass fishing. Yeah. Oh yeah, Fang. We are going to be chasing more stripers, so we're going to try to break our personal best. So the personal best is 40 inches right now, which probably is like a, if it's a long skinny one, it might be 19 pounds. If it's a short fat one, it might be 25 pounds. So definitely looking for that. We're trying to rig up the boat to show people how to fish at night because that's something that I don't see anywhere on YouTube. No one mentions it, nothing like that. But striper fishing at night versus striper fishing during the day is a completely different animal. And we've been talking about how we're going to rig like the boat, right? So that, now we have the boat. The boat is going to be our tool. The boat needs to be safe. At the same time, the boat needs to be able to record all this footage so we can show people because we can talk all day about it. Plenty of memories we can tell you guys about. But to show what nighttime cranking is about, you might have to go like night vision or something like that. We haven't really decided what we want. We have a real small budget, so we're working on it basically. Gotta rig up some batteries, some new B ports, some more GoPros, really likely. Uh, that type of stuff. Yes. Yeah, okay. So if you like our cooking videos, we got a real good one coming up. Okay, so the cooking videos, a lot of people have been asking for them, catching cooks and stuff like that. We got a real good one coming up. It's white bass and squirrel. So I hope you guys like that stuff. That's our first like attempt to incorporate hunting into our channel. We are an outdoors channel. We're not strictly fishing because I knew sooner or later we will have to touch the outdoor side of it. The whole hunting squirrels, hunting deer. I got some deer videos coming up, but they're not that good. More like experiences, crossbow reviews, crossbow scope reviews. Kind of like this is my first year hunting deer too, so I'm trying to do it without uh, just cheats in a way. I'm trying to figure things out as I go, and it's gonna be like a big like my top 5 list of errors I made, things like that. Those videos will be coming out. Have you ever flown down the Elk River and smallmouth bass fished? The Elk River, I've never floated down. I know where it's at. I've been there a couple times, but I've never floated it. The 2 times I've been there, one time it was like crazy flooding. It was chocolate milk. I couldn't even see anything. And then the next time, I just basically go by and look at it. So I was until I saw it. Elk River. I hear there's a lot of good little smallmouths. So if there's ever an MLF format for a bass tournament, you should go to the Elk River because one of our good friends, that's where he almost won a tournament on the Elk River. MLF, it was like 8-inch minimum, something like that. He submitted like 56 fish or something in a course of 8 hours, something like that. It's ridiculous. on a Ned rig too. It's crazy. He won a couple $100. He told me that. I was like, oh man, it's awesome. But yeah, little clear river streams, Ned rigs, green pumpkin, man. It's deadly, deadly. Okay, so yeah, so I like brother, I like your shows just because you're out there having a good time with your friends. So that's actually the main reason for this channel. This channel doesn't make a lot of money. I'll be honest, it doesn't make a lot of money. A couple $100 if we're working on it. If not, then it actually falls to a couple $100. So we're not making like tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, so don't even think that far. So this channel really started just because friends having fun, doing what we like to do, being in the outdoors, and that's the only thing. I felt like we kind of went away from that a little bit because of the tournament world, but it's coming back. Okay, so you'll see it in the next video. The video, like I was telling the other guy, the catch and cook stuff. There's another video that's gonna come out. It's probably gonna be like 40 minutes long. It's long form, super long form. Not a lot of editing. You're gonna see me, my 2 brothers, my dad, uncle, my cousin, our brother-in-law, our brother-in-law's friend, and his son, and we're just having a good time. We're having a real good time, and it's all about having a good time with your friends, basically. And you'll see it. We're cooking fish, we're cooking striper, no, cooking white bass, walleye, and we got. And so half the team split, right? So I just mentioned the entire team. Half the team went hunting and half the team went fishing, and then we rendezvous on the island and we cooked lunch, catch, kill, cook, whatever you call it, and had a great time. Had a great time. I asked everybody this question, like, did you have a good time today? And everyone was just like, hands down, we had a good time. So that's what the channel is going to be more focused on 2022. Things that not really like tournaments. Tournaments is definitely still part of it, the channel. But maybe like we'll do more tournament preparation type stuff to help everybody out. Because I feel like I've been in the kayak world for 5 years. I've won a lot of awards and I've achieved a lot. So I think I could help all the guys that are say coming in. I'm not like a specialist by any means, but I know enough to be dangerous, put it that way. And I can really help the guys that are really wanting to get into this kayak world and play the game right, play the game properly, and set themselves up for success. So I can really throw out those videos, and those are more likely the videos that you'll be seeing. Okay, so not a lot of like fishing in kayaks, but I'm not ruling out kayak fishing and shooting squirrels at the same time. So that's where the channel is probably going to go. Right? Let's see. Also, your monthly striper reports on what baits and lures you're using. Yeah, I tried to do the striper stuff every month, but it just wasn't getting enough traction, so I just decided not to do no more. But if you guys want to know, just hit us up on the Facebook. Just type it. I'm sure someone's gonna answer it. Shiba Inu or Doge? Uh, Currently, I think Shiba's got another pump that's going to go on. Doge is just out of nowhere. But regardless, they're both trading real good for those crypto guys who know what they're talking about. Uh, you guys need to show us how you guys catch crappie. We just did a video, crazy, yeah, the crazy crappie video that we went and did under the train tracks. Watch out, Shiba Doge is the deal. uh, yep. Some people don't care for tournaments. Some people, that's all they do, tournaments. If it's not tournament related, they don't care. So, like I said, tournament guys and non-tournament guys, there's always going to be that crazy battle between the two. But just know that if you get bored, if you ever get bored with just traditional fishing, the tournament world might be the next step for you. And for the guys that tournament fish all the time, and only tournament fish all the time, you guys do not know what you're missing out on, because you release your fish. You don't even eat the outdoors world that you're missing. Because if you're just a tournament angler, it feels, there are moments in time it feels fake. You know what I mean? Like you're catching all these fish, you're spending so much money on it, and we do spend a lot more money on bass tournament tackle than we will ever spend on traditional stuff. So, to me, it kind of feels fake. You're spending thousands, and I'm not even exaggerating, thousands, right, on gear, on gas, on rental, whatever, to go fish a tournament. And yet, if you don't win money, you don't get anything in return, besides maybe memories. So those guys got to chill too. So don't knock the guys that don't tournament fish. Some guys are real good. They just choose not to tournament fish. What is your favorite bass to fish? Favorite bass to fish? Oh man, it's the striper, dude. Hands down, it's the striper. Okay, it's the striper. Catch him on a spoon in like 25 foot of water. That's by far, that's the best way I like to catch stripers. You see him on the snow sonar. There might be like 5 or 6 of them down there. You drop a magnum spoon down there. I'm talking about a spoon that's like the size of your hand. Okay, 8-inch spoon, at least a 6 to 8 inch spoon. And you're just working it hard off the bottom. 20-pound fluorocarbon with a big bait caster, 7 foot, 4 extra heavy rod, and then they smack it. It's one of those bites that's super addictive, but it's super predictable. Okay, that is the everyday. Like I would pick that every day. If there was a number two, it would be throwing a frog over lily pads or matted grass. That's number two, because when you get a largemouth that comes through the grass and he hits it, that's something else too. That is another flavor of fishing that I don't think a lot of people get to experience, because once again, it's a big fish. It's not like a 10-pound bass. It's only like a 5 or 6 pound, which is respectively pretty good. Okay, but you're on 80-pound braid. You're on a 7 to 7'6" rod, extra heavy. There is no drag here. Okay, the drag is locked. Okay, your reel is locked. You cast it out there. You see him blow up on it. You set the hook, and you're just cranking as hard as you can. I mean, That's the nature of that beast. It's very very hand to hand combat. So that's flavor. That's how that. Yeah, yeah. The tournament stuff versus the fun fishing. I think in the past couple of years, you have to learn how to balance those two things. You have to have almost like two phases or two mindsets when it comes to tournaments and fun fishing. Because when it's tournament time, like when I show up on tournament day, I still talk to everybody before I launch the kayak. But once I launch the kayak and it's in tournament hours or tournament minutes, I'm a totally different guy. I'm a totally different guy. I could be an asshole. Okay? I'll be honest. For the guys who are watching, if I come across as an asshole in the water, it's because that's my tournament side. And as a player of the game, you have to be. It's not hand-to-hand combat between the anglers, but it's like the mindset is very aggressive. You have to be aggressive a lot of times. But when it comes to fun fishing, family fishing, man, I'm the biggest goofball. Okay, so I'm like eating potato chips half the time, drinking sodas, half the time, just joking around, laughing. Like the more I laugh, the more of a better time I have. And you'll see that too in the next video coming up. I mean, half the video is just laughing. Okay, so you'll see that, and that's how you know you're having a good time. Okay. Have you ever fished South Carolina? No, we've never been. I've been to South Carolina one time. When my brother got married, it was in South Carolina. We drove to South Carolina and came right back. No, we never got to fish. I never saw the beaches. I never saw the lakes. I never saw anything. So it's kind of sad. But one day we'll definitely come back one of these days. What lake in Oklahoma have you caught the most saugeye and walleye? I've never ate one. The best lake for sauger or walleyes. If you ask me, I've never done that good outside of the dams. We caught a couple in Sooner, but they were all under the size limit. Sooner probably has the best population right now, but they're all undersized. You can't keep any of them. You have two of those videos out. Go reference those. Watch those videos. You'll see like 20, 30 minutes, I think. Just nonstop, like saugers, nonstop. It's crazy. The spoons too. But we caught like 60 or 70 fish that day, and only 4 were keepers. So I can't recommend that lake. Okay. And plus, it's really boat only. If you're on land, you need to fish more. Probably dams. They have the best population of fish, I guess. Didn't you go up to the East Coast fish striper once? Yeah, we did. We used to live there. We lived in Massachusetts before we moved down to Oklahoma. So actually kind of went home. We didn't travel, kind of went home. And we didn't do so good. The timing was a little off. The weather pattern wasn't just right. So caught some decent fish, but wasn't no, crazy like 40, 50-inch striper, something like that. Brother, what about fly fishing? Is it really that difficult to master? Fly fishing? Oh, that was the other thing. Okay, so fly fishing. I want to catch a big striper on the fly. I want to do it. So 2022 is going to be pretty much the redemption year. Okay, I'm just going to say right now, it is going to be the redemption year. So everything everything I've always wanted to do, everything my brothers always wanted to do, we're going to do it in 2022. We want to spend more time with dad too, so that's why we're going to incorporate more hunting stuff. But yeah, I'm going to try to catch one on the fly rod. I got striper flies right here. Is that a striper fly? No, that's marabou jigs for striper fly right there. So the fly rod, it is a lot harder to master. I'm not a master at it. I got some basic stuff down, enough to like make a cast 25 yards, you can say 25, maybe 30 yards, but on a good day, okay. And striper, the hybrid, when a hybrid hits like a traditional lure, it's already exciting enough. The reason why people like to fly fish is because The fly fishing is just fishing on steroids because it really literally is. Because we don't the way you hold a fly rod. There's a fly rod up there. I can see it. But there's two fly rods up there. Okay, you hold the line. You literally hold this line in your hand. So when the striper hits, or any fish hits it, and it pulls, the line starts screaming through your fingers. So you feel all of it. It's not like your bait cast or your spinning rod where you just hold it and you kind of see the line going away. You never touch the line on those. But in fly fishing, you touch all the. It's a very very hand to hand combat, and you feel everything. Uh, when the fish moves, you feel it on your fingertips. So it's that kind of thing, and it's just really rewarding because it's also really really hard too. But there's pros and cons. The fly rod can deliver baits really 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 quick. I'll give you a great example. If the stripers are blitzing, they're chasing shadow on the surface. You cast over here, right? And they're working the bait this way. On a traditional rod and reel, if you cast over there, the first 5 seconds is gonna what matter the most, and then you're just reeling it back and making another cast because now the school's on over here. Okay, so the fly rod, you can be in the action the whole time. So because as long as you can get out there, that's the hard part is taking the time to get out there. Once it once it's out there, you got like 5 pumps, so you should be 25, 30 yards out. Once you're out there, you keep the fly within that that danger zone, is what I like to call it, or the strike zone, most people call it. So you're pulling this fly, and then you out of the strike zone. All you gotta do is lift it, pull it right back where it's supposed to be, and you can make crazy directional changes too, like a second later, 2 seconds later. Or the other one, you're literally 10 seconds later, and then you cast again. So fire rods have their advantages, but the main thing is the fire rod is it's an enjoyable thing. It's just hard to do, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. Uh, with that being said, do you ever tell Paul any information on tournament day how you guys are catching up? Yeah, so what you're talking about is tournament communications, right? So depending on which tournament you go to, they may or may not allow that. Okay, so for the most part, when we're out there, if the tournament allows for it, we carry walkie talkies with us, and we can communicate back and forth to each other. But it's not like we're on totally different sides of the lake, anyways. A lot of times we're fishing fairly close together, so we do run into each other once per day, and we do kind of share information for like 30 seconds as we pass by each other. Things like that. We do have a pretty good group of guys fishing with us. We're friends with almost everybody. So if we see somebody struggling, we'll give them a couple tips. Or if we see they see us struggling, they'll give us a couple tips to just catch a limit, things like that. But for between me and Hua, we debate a lot. There's a lot of heated debate, put it that way, on how to fish a lake before we get out there, and we kind of have our bases covered before we go. So, like I said, we like to bring 8 rods, but in reality, in our mindset, says you should bring 15. But you're not going to because if you bring 15, it's too much shit to take care of. 8 is more than enough to get the win on the tournament. The reality is, you really only need 3. Like if you've got them dialed, you need 2. Okay, so we talk a lot about that stuff, and then we always game plan a little bit. Say if you go out there, if the bite's missing, like don't we always talk about don't leave fish to go find fish, and on top of that, don't fish an area even though it looks so good. If the fish aren't there, the fish aren't there. So if they're there, they should be biting. Kind of that feeling, So when we go tournament fish, we want to move around more. And on top of that, when you tournament fish, you want to always feel like you're having fun. Okay, if you're not having fun tournament fish, you're just your mindset's not in the right place. Um, can you teach us a cool fishing related moment? Some guy said manja yo. That's actually pretty good. Oh, that's an old school one. If you remember that one, yeah, that viral video with that one guy that was like, I think it was North Carolina, but it was he screamed out G Lubas. He was just really the biggest striker. He was running back and forth too, which is a hilarious part. It wasn't the Manji part. It was the whole part where he was like confused. He didn't know what to do. He was running back and forth. Like he was. I don't know if he was undecided, but like help his friend out, or not help his friend out, or no idea. Nobody knows what's going on. He's running back and forth. That's hilarious. I actually heard he got a he wrote a some type of copyright thing for that word too. So the Manji phrase, if you say that, you own royalties. It's actually pretty crazy. I don't know if it's real or not, but I thought I saw something like that. Uh, Also loved it when you guys went to Tennycomo. Yeah, damn, we gotta go back to Tennycomo though. To be completely honest, man. Like, I had some friends, right? We have due to this YouTube channel, we got a lot of connections, a lot of people in the area, and they told us that if you ever go to Tennycomo, especially in the area that we went to, like the right by that, like I'm talking right by the hatchery, right? Because if you're right by a hatchery, you can't use artificial baits, or you can't use live bait, you can't use plastic baits. So you're restricted to fly fishing. Like they're really pushing the fly rod, right, in that area of the water. But there's a little window of opportunity there where when we I don't know if you guys saw it, that video he's talking about, but where we were throwing Lucky Craft pointers. Okay, we were throwing small ones, 75. I lost like two of them to freaking crap. It's crazy because their eyes are so good. So we were throwing Lucky Craft pointers. At night, I was throwing at night I was throwing ghost minnow. It's crazy. Throwing the ghost minnow and throwing on 6 pound line. Ridiculous. With the water running super hard, you know. So, anyways, I got fish broke me up. Usually that doesn't happen, but some of our friends are like, man, you guys are idiots. If you're going up there in that area, just for the 10 guys that are watching this video right now, you need forget about the trout. Just write the trout off, right? You guys should be targeting the big hybrids or white bass and the big walleyes and everything. Throw like your striper gear basically, you know. Uh, let's see what's happening to the next one. Do you ever come to Texas for rainbow trout stalking season? I didn't know you guys had trout in Texas. It's really fun with those silver foxes, pickworms. They do give a really good. Yeah, the trout. Okay, so trout. We don't do trout very much uh, unless it's wintertime or unless somebody, one of our cousins were friends or something, and they just happen to invite us out to go. Then we do it. But for us to take the initiative and do it, we typically don't. Even though people have been wanting us to do like a trout catching cook, like, there's a pond in Tulsa. It's called the Veterans Pond, where they stock trout from December to March, and we basically don't ever fish it. But a lot of the people we know fish it all the time. They stock it I think it's every Tuesday or every Thursday, something like that. And it's a little pond. You literally go there and you can see trout swimming around. It's like fishing bucket basically, and they bite everything. You know, these are domesticated trout. They'll bite anything. So game blades work, rooster tails work, power bait is. You get there, there's power bait floating everywhere on the spot. So earthworms work. There's fly fishermen out there. There's bait caster guys. There's guys with snoopy poles. The list goes on, right? So somebody did ask us to go out and do a catching cook right on the park. Like I was like, man, that's actually not a bad idea. So even we might have to do that. Might have to do that because we tried that one time and we only caught two. I was kind of hoping we could catch at least 10 so we could fry up some fish and just invite the general public over and just have a little feast. 10 trout, butter, fried or whatever it is. Maybe even grilled. And just invite some of the public in. Just I don't want to take the trout home, so come on in, eat a little bit of breakfast. You got some fish too. Let's cook that too. So well, kind of laid back. Kind of one of those, almost like a subscriber meet and greet. Almost like that. What's happening? Much love from Texas. Man, I love Texas, dude. I'm telling you, Texas is. I've been to Lake Fork twice to fish two national championships, and I finished 13th one time, and I finished ninth at one time out of 120 people. I like Texas. I like the people down there. I like the feeling of Texas. Texas, I love Texas. Uh, Ryan C says he's still gonna have some kayak tournament content. Yeah, the tournament world. We might need the tournament world, but the tournament world is not needing us. That way. So, yeah, Ryan, definitely. Me and my brother have decided we still want, like, okay, so every year you have to set some goals on what you want to achieve that year. In the past 5 years has always been we want to make the championship. We want to get to the Oklahoma championship. So please wait while we try to reconnect. I don't know. I think my service is going all weird. So let me know if service is still good or not. Oh, is my internet still working? I have no idea. I think it's still working. But anyways, yeah, kayak content still definitely gonna be there. I don't think we can get away with it. We've kind of established ourselves in the local area as some of the really good tournament anglers. So if so, let me backtrack. You have to set some standards for yourself. So for us it's gonna be making it to the state championship. The state championship is where if you fish a kayak tournament series, you want to get there. Okay, audio is messing up, but I had to refresh it. So I hope it's working right now. Is it working good right now? I have no idea. Okay, so a new thing part of our chat here is we've enabled the super chats. So what super chats is like if you want us to give you a shout out, or if you want us to answer a very specific question, very in depth, because I've been answering kind of just general responses. If you want a real in depth response, because I don't know whose background is like expert fisherman or like rookie fisherman or whatever. So I try to answer very generalized. So if you want like a very very specific question or a very very good response, put it that way, we've enabled the super chat. So if you super chat us, we'll pretty much answer your question until you get tired of it. But also we do a new shout out. So Jack Fishing TV, uh, he's a sounds like he's a local subscriber or some who's been subbed to us for a while. So go check out his channel too, Jack Fishing TV. He's in the comments. So you can just click on his name here. You can probably just go right over to him. With Jack Fishing TV. Thanks for the 9.99. It helps out the channel. Oh, that's the other thing too. So when the channel, like for us to grow more, we have to make more money from the channel. So whether that's through just reviews or through something like this, super chats, or whether that's through memberships, we're gonna have to start offering stuff like that. We've already had a couple guys that say if you guys do like a Patreon or something like that, we'll definitely contribute $5-10 a month. if we get some like behind the scenes access to like, say maybe, like what do you guys do while editing, or what do you guys do while just organizing events, organizing trips, some of the catchy cooks, or some of the footage that you just deem are not good enough for the general YouTube audience, and you've just blurped it out there on a special like members only like video feed or something like that. Or and on top of that, we also have a lot of secrets. Okay, put it that way. So, especially in the world of kayaks, especially in the world of like tournaments, this is probably going to be for Ryan here. So, if you kind of like look at our track record and what we've done and how we went from losing all the time to almost being like a dominant force on the water, we did all that because of a lot of the things we've come up with. So a lot of the stuff that you do before you actually go out there helps out a lot. So a lot of times your tournaments cannot be won at home, but they can definitely be lost at home. Meaning, little things like not preparing properly in terms of like you don't map study, or say you don't uh, sharpen your hooks. You didn't replace your hooks. You just didn't pack enough of a certain color you were supposed to. Little things like that. That like high in depth advanced say course. This applies to stripers also. Okay, that would be reserved for just the Patreon guys. The guys are like, I'm willing to like dig your brain. Dig into your brain. And for something like that, I can't just put that information out there because the internet is just internet. You don't know where this information is going. You don't know if it's going to be like used, copied, chewed up, thrown out in the trash. I don't know. So for specific information, I'm not saying like waypoints or nothing like that, but like how to find your own waypoints, or how we approach certain situations. That's definitely Patreon tier. Okay. KBF stuff, we're contemplating KBF Grand Lake, contemplating it because I hate Grand Lake, but since it's coming in, I know how to win it. I feel like I'm confident I know how to win it, but I just don't know how it's gonna play in that time of year. We've been there a couple times. Our circuit's been there twice, and basically it's been won the same way twice, different locations, but twice the same way. Uh, so there's a chance we might fish it, but then again, I think it's like a $300 entry fee, so it's kind of a lot. So that's me and my brothers. That's $600. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if the risk is going to be worth the payout. Um, yeah. So in terms of striper fishing, all that stuff, it's just we're gonna we're gonna do a lot more of that. Okay, like I said, things that are definitely on the plate that we hope we can do good with is we want to catch stripers on a glide bait. Who wants to see that? I think everybody wants to see that. Uh, a striper fishing at night. I think we're gonna have an entire series on just that. Like maybe even how to set up your boat properly to fish at night and be safe and things like that. Go into the headlights you need. Go into the maps that you need. Map as in map on the boat, like your fish finder. The mapping on the fish finder needs to be pretty dang good. So when you're kind of moving around at night, you don't hit stuff. That type of thing. How to attract fish at night. That's another like totally good topic in itself. Crazy stories. We've had crazy experience fishing at night with lights. So that could be a totally different like series. That could be like a 10-part series by itself. So many different things you can do with lights. You can have a generator. You might not want a generator. You want like underwater lights, lights that are above the water. Colors of the lights might matter. When to use it, when not to use it. There's also sound, like the hydrowave sound that mimics a school of fish busting shad. Or do you want to you do they call it the knocker, I think, where it's just like a knocking sound the whole time, like that the whole time. Some guides, some captains swear by it on text homework, and I've seen it work and I've seen it not work. When to use it, when not to use it, that type of stuff. Does it count if we donate money? Gabe Anderson says, "Does it count if we donate money to you at the Tuesday night jackpots? Enjoy the channel as well. Keep it. The Tuesday night jackpots. It does help because basically, if you come to the jackpots and if I win, that money is used to pay for the gas money uh, to get to the tournaments to create the content, right? And on top of that, it's used to buy the lures. It's used to it's used. It's also a big motivation too because if we're winning, you want to go more. If we're not winning, you don't go as much. And for the guys that don't know, we fished the Tuesday nights in Tulsa a lot. The Bassathon is what it's called, the Tulsa Bassathons. We fish it a lot. And it's for the kayak guys. If you're doing kayak tournaments, basically the format is we pick a lake within 100. I think it's 100 miles. Oh no, it's like within 50 miles. It's changed a little bit. This coming year is gonna change a little bit. But we go out Tuesday night, starts at 6. You might end at 8, or you might end at 8:45, depending time of day or time of year. It's it's $20 buy-in, $15 goes to main pot, $5 goes to big bass. Right? Big bass is awarded one spot only. It's a jackpot, so if there's less than 20 people, winner take all. Okay, winner to winner take all things, and I really like that format just because of that. The winner to winner take all. So the past year, I actually won the Angler of the Year title for that. So I think they had 10 or 11 scores you can have. I won it. I think I won the events. I think I won 3 times. I think I won three, but I came in second 5 times, something like that. This is what I'm saying. We're in the world of tournament fishing. So for those 5 times I came in second, I thought for sure I won. Like when you go out there and you no practice, nothing, you show up and you just fish, and then you're just like, I got a pretty dang good stringer, right? Like I got 3 for 47 inches. That's pretty good, right? Typically, if you're in the 40s or higher, you're in contention to win that night. If you're in 45, 46, 47, typically you win. If you're in the 50s, oh, woo, good chance you're gonna win that night. If you're in the high 50s, it's like a guarantee, right? So some of those nights I come in with like 47, 48s, and your name's not called because they only call first place. And you're kind of bummed. I'll be honest, man. Like you get the high, right? The momentum builds as you're catching fish. Catch one, catch two, catch three. To catch 3 fish in 2 hours is really hard in our tournaments. Okay, so like say you go out, you catch 5 fish, and your best 3 are decent size, right? They're all 14, 15 inches. Put it this way: 3 15s gets you 45 inches. So if you got 3 15s, you're gonna be pretty hard to beat that night, unless someone has a magical night. You're probably gonna win. To be honest, we've got tournaments where one guy when one person catches 1 fish actually wins the entire tournament. So it's just based on the day. So we come in and then your name doesn't even call. So you're kind of like, well, that kind of sucks. I thought I was gonna win. Like I was like so sure I was gonna win, but sometimes that's part of it. Like that's why I say the tournament life for some guys, they do it just because it's it's a way to gauge who is a good fisherman. Basically, is what it is. Because if you have to put people in like categories of this guy's really really good, this guy came in second, this guy came third, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the year, you find out who the Angler of the Year is. And you find out who's really, really good and who's really, really just okay. So it's like, shit, still got it. Thanks, bro. You get thanks for $1.99. Helps us a lot. Uh, All right, man. Fishing for stripers with a fly rod, man. You got it. We're gonna do that one just for you. So, like I said, I got a 5 weight and a 9 weight, a 5 and a 9 weight up there. We definitely go out with a 9 weight. Haven't even thrown a 9 weight in like 2 years, but we're definitely gonna do that this year. Um, definitely for sure. Just gotta do it. Probably in the rivers, but gotta do it. 'Cause it's just fun, man. Stripers is just fun. But yeah, 2022, lots of just I would say even old school, just old school out of work fishing. A lot more. If you didn't like the last 2 years, you're gonna like this coming year because it's got a lot of back to our roots, a lot of just striper fishing with dams. I do need to do more of those just because I need to go fish and then go to work. I feel like if I'm more active, I lose a little more weight too. So we gotta do that a little bit more. Um, we just we're gonna have to do a lot more boats and do a lot more striper fishing, and on top of that, we're gonna do a lot uh, more redneck stuff. Let's put it that way. I call it redneck stuff because that's the category. If you want to do frog gigging, that's one that I feel like my dad's gonna want to do this. I want to do jug lines. I want to do limb lines. I want to do. I'm not gonna do the whole like sticking your hand on a rock and hopefully something bites and you pull it out. We're not doing that. Ryan C, bringing back gear reviews. Yeah, gear reviews. If you paid attention to our channel in the first 2 or 3 years, it was mainly gear reviews. So a major gear review coming out would be like we have a lot of nice reels, high end reels. We got to do a review on every one of those. Also, we got to do now that we've been in the bass fishing world. There's a lot of gear, a lot of tech that we can actually preach on or preach against, right? Like probably the one that we'll probably end up doing is hey, been around since 24/7, huh? All right, yeah, yeah, you're like an old guy. Original guy. Yeah, so especially the kayak world, I mean we could talk kayak setup. I mean, that's a very broad question. Kayak setup for just having fun, kayak setups for having like a trolling motor on it, kayak setups for say Hobie events only, right? Like you have to rig your kayaks up different. I feel like it's gonna be different. Are you gonna do open water, or are you gonna do more like stumps and grass? Because that's gonna be different too. Even though we don't change our setups that much, you probably should. You know, because if you're in open water, I'll give you this one right off the bat. You don't need a power pole, right? There's no point in having it. You don't want a power pole. Don't need a power pole. But if you're fishing grass and you're less than 5 foot, oh my goodness, that power pole is you gotta have it. Take that fish finder, you can chuck that out the back. You probably don't want it. You probably don't need it. Although there is some cases where I have a fish finder in the grass using the GPS capability. So there's a lot of that going on. Definitely a lot of that going on. So yeah. So a lot of those general questions can be turned into videos that not only help you guys, it'll help all the other YouTube people. Because I feel like we got a lot of knowledge kind of bottled up. You get to the point where I feel like you have too much knowledge and you don't even know where to start, if that makes any sense. Yeah, yeah. So unless someone asks you a question, you kind of like, I don't know, I don't even know where to start. Hmm. Yeah, two videos coming right up. We got one on how to fix our trolling motor. We bought a $3,000 trolling motor. It's already broken. Well, due to us, we kind of hit a rock with it, but you're gonna see us fixing it and tuning it and doing all the other good stuff with it. Okay, so that's the next one's coming out, and the one after that is gonna be like I said, that's the real catch and cook. Like I'm thinking about naming it like legit fishermen and hunters catch and cook, or catch and cook by legit fishermen and hunters, or something like that. because I see a lot of catch and cooks on YouTube, which I don't think half the times the guys in there they're not really true fishermen or true hunters, because the true hunters they behave differently. The way they pack, the way they clean animals, the way they like talk, all that it's just different. It's a different. It's like a different thing. We don't have all the ingredients, but we bring the right ingredients, right? Uh, you don't have everything at your disposal, but you have the right friends with you. And true outdoorsmen always brings beer and cook with beer too. Okay, so for the guys who know what I'm talking about, you can see this some true outdoorsmen. What about those creeks in OKC, like Wichita Falls, where it's so clear have you ever fished this stream? There's only one really clear stream around us that we actually fish. Maybe twice or three times per year. You guys see those in the video. It's the stream. It's actually called Spavinal Creek, and it flows into Lake Uchi or Ucha, depending on where you live in from. The local is called Lake Uchi. It's spelled Eucha. How they got the A to become an I is the Indian thing, I guess. I'm not sure. It's Lake Uchi. We go there quite a bit, and some days, I mean, you get up there, it is clear. It is very clear. It is. You can see 15 feet down clear. Okay, so we do fish those, and when I go up there, when I go to that little stream, I don't know if people want to watch this stuff because I like catching creek chuds, little like some people call them bitter fish. They're only this big, a good one like that. I catch them on fly rod. It's really fun. But there's a bunch of snakes, copperheads, and all that stuff too. So we're always head on the swivel looking out for snakes. But, yeah, so pretty good day. Oh yeah, the other thing is I'm trying to make this live thing an every Thursday night thing. So I did it last Thursday, doing it right now. It's Thursday night. So 7:30, 8 o'clock is probably a good time. And I'm gonna try to keep this going as long as we can. I know a lot of people are busy with life and things like that. So join us, ask your questions, whenever you want. But that's what the plan is. Currently we got like 10 people online watching this live, and that's pretty good. I never thought people would stop in and listen to me just blab out information. Yeah. What up, that damn fishing guy? Yeah, I know you're the guy that like says you fish Urugal too, right? So yeah, Urugal is our Ulugal Lake. We live about 10 minutes away from it, and it's the first lake in Oklahoma we actually got to fish. First dam we fished at. Oh, stomping grounds, man. Old stomping grounds. We still go there, but we don't fish the lake much. So that needs to change. The guy that asked about walleye, right? Whoever that one was, I forgot who he was, but the guy that asked about walleyes, according to the locals, Ulugal Lake is the best walleye lake in Oklahoma. Okay, that's what they say, but I've only caught like one out of like local secret. I met this old guy. Because I go like I travel a lot, and when we get to gas stations, if we're pulling a double like kayaks, we get a lot of attention. So people come up and they talk to us like, where are you guys going fishing and stuff like that. And they always try to poke knowledge out of us, so we try to poke knowledge out of them too. So I always ask people like, we're like, you're from this local area, do you know any good place to fish for walleyes around? And I swear, like 3 out of 5 people would say you gotta go Udon Lake. I was like, that was like 10 minutes ago. Udon Lake. I've never hardly caught strike or something. Maybe walleyes up there, so definitely gotta do that a little more. A lot of people say they just troll for them. I'm not a trolling person, although I might become one. Okay. If we got to troll for walleyes, we got to troll for walleyes. I mean, that's just the name of the game, I guess. But we grew up at the lake. I live 30 minutes from them. Yeah, see, so everybody's fairly local. Everybody's fairly local. Oh, they got Jerry Rice in the house? Oh, crap. He says he likes fishing too. Yeah. Good job, Jerry Rice. Alright, alright. So, future of the channel is, like I said, it's going to be a lot more original looking content. Okay? Um, a lot more just fishing, but you're still going to get tournaments too. So, we're going to try to record everything. We're going to try the reason why the last 2 years have been mainly tournaments is when you subscribe to the tournament lifestyle, your schedule's already made up for you. Like if you think about it, it's a pretty busy schedule. Even if you don't do anything out of state, even if you just do like the Oklahoma kayak anglers circuit, it's usually 6 to 11 events. 6 to 11. It's usually 6 to 11, depending on how busy and how ambitious the guys are. Right, so that's weekends. So you basically blow an entire weekend doing that, even though it's only a 1 day event. You prep Friday night, fish Saturday, and on Sunday it kind of feels like a recovery day. You don't fish Sunday, like you're so out of it. You're done with fishing for that weekend, right? And then we fish the Tuesday nights. So the Tuesday night jackpots, there's probably 20 to 25 events usually every year, and we're always 15 events, about 15 events every year. So that's a lot. That's a lot of fishing. Plus, all this other stuff that we do too. That we might go out and fish for hybrids, we might go for stripers. You mix that in, and that's a lot of trips every year. That's a lot of trips. And don't get me wrong, a lot of trips we skunk out on, and you guys never hear about it. You guys never see about it, see anything about it. And on top of that, there's this YouTube thing where I'm trying to kind of educate people on things on what to throw and all this other stuff too. So trying to help everybody out. I mean, content creation is a little iffy too because we are the outdoor world, and right now YouTube is censoring just almost everything that has to do with the outdoor world. So, so the next video I'm editing, I have to be very conscious not to offend anyone, basically. Snowflakes. Put it that way. I have to be very conscious of the people watching. They might be snowflakes, so I can't have anything that may look offensive to anybody. Anything that may be flagged for being disgusting, right? But if you're an outdoorsman, you see blood and guts all the time. It's not a big deal, but we see it so often. But to the regular YouTube viewer who might click on our videos, the people that think steaks grow on trees, they're going to be very offended when they start seeing you say gut fish or gut deer or see, just for me saying gut, that might be offensive already. They want me to say clean or process or like I'm so used to saying I'm going to go shoot a deer versus I'm going to go harvest a deer. So all of these things, YouTube just cracking down on it. So I don't know. Hopefully they back off. They probably will back off a little bit, but it's still very very iffy. So we have to watch out what kind of content we put out, and because a lot of our fans who have other channels, they've already been flagged quite a bit. So uh, we have to just conscious of that. So the next video, like I said, there's squirrels in this fishing net, and we're cooking it. So you have to be conscious of that. We can't be just flashing in all our goods, basically. So we're trying to censor everybody. Basically, is what's happening. But it's all good, I mean, that's for the greater good of everybody. But I hope one day they have another like rating system where they say, if you're easily offended by blood, you should not watch this video, and we will definitely click. This video has blood in it. It's hunting. There might be blood squirting all over the place. Okay, if we didn't record that to offend anybody. That's just how nature works. Okay, so until that happens, we have to be very very conscious of what we release onto YouTube. Uh, yeah. Okay, so what do walleyes taste like? They heard they taste good. Okay, walleyes taste like, if you ever had crappie, the meat is very flaky like crappie, all right? But it's real thick, okay? Because a crappie is a flat fish. It looks like a flat fish, and the walleyes are round fish, right? So when you catch a walleye, especially one that meets the minimum, it depends on what you fish at, but the state minimum is 14 inches, senior is 18, depending where you go, it might be 18. It's a round fish, so when you fillet the fish, there's a lot of meat on it. So basically, it tastes like crappie, but it's got a more fatty taste to it. Because crappie is very, it's just straight lean. Crappie. I've never seen crappie with fat on it. I've seen walleyes with fat on it. Okay, so that's the main reason. Walleyes, just think of it like white crappie with a little bit of fatty taste on it, and that's walleye. Walleyes on it. That's what it is. And it's okay. Every single one of those that we catch that meet the minimum, we don't release that. That's how it is. And if we catch them during the tournament, we keep them too. Keep them in the kayak, bring them home. Okay, we never release them. Yep. Cold water bass. Yeah, so yeah, the other thing, the other thing we really like here is throwing jerk baits for cold water bass. Oh, Anderson wants to know, curious about your thoughts on this big technology in fishing. Okay, so me and my brother actually had a real big, like, just a chat about this very topic, right? So if you think about it, the modern day kayak, 2022, don't be surprised if you see a $15,000 kayak. Heck, a $20,000 kayak. It is not out of the question, okay? Because I'll throw some figures right at you right now, right? Okay, so a brand new Hobie Pro Angler 14, 360, you're looking at $5,000. So that's just the kayak, right? All right. Power pole, let's just round that up to $800. Say it's 1,000 because you want to install 1,000 with the battery. See the battery with the power pole, like a big battery, not the little power pole battery, but a legit battery that'll power your kayak. That'd be about $300-400 plus power pole. Say 1,000, so you have $6,000, right? You need a trailer because you're not going to put it on top of your your truck all the time. So say you want a trailer. Trailers just rounded up $1,000, $7,000. Say you're gonna fish tournaments, right? All right, you need a fish finder. Heck, you want two. You got two fish finders, two tens, and you want live scope on it. Okay, well, 2,000, another 2,000, 4,000. Live scope is 1,500. That's 5,500 on top of 7,000. That's almost 12,500, almost $13,000. Okay. Oh, tackle and hydro rate, that's like $500, right? Okay. So you're looking $14,000. That doesn't include anything else, right? So say you want to do YouTube channel too. So you tack on two GoPros, that's another 1,000. Right? And I'm not even done. Okay. Supernova lights, $400 maybe. Tack that on, right? Okay, so your tip of the scale is 13,000, right? All right. So some tournaments they allow trolling motors. The best trolling motor, I think, unarguable right now is still the Torpedo. That thing goes. I don't know. Last time I checked, it was like $4,000. So $3,000-4,000. So 13 plus 4, that's $17,000. Okay, $17,000 for a kayak. $17,000 is not out of the question. And some people want two trolling motors. Okay, so they have a Torpedo and they have another one in the front. Hence, Flipmaster, he's got a kayak. It's probably $18,000. Okay, it's getting pretty crazy, but like I said, it's great because once they push the boundaries like that, then I think it draws a lot of attention to the sport, and people will understand that there's a big market, people are willing to pay for big items, and then they're more willing to separate the categories so you can have like a high end, low end, mid grade. So a lot more products will be coming up. Right now it's just crazy because eventually there's going to be a kayak that's priced at $20,000, like, no question about it. Uh, but in terms of just the technology, ultrasonic technology, the forward facing sonar is a big deal. But at the same time, it's not that big of a deal, to be honest, in the world of kayak fishing. And I think it's either KBF or the Hobie series, the Angler of the Year won Angler of the Year with no fish finding. So that should be a slap to the face of everybody who says you have to have $2,000-3,000 worth of electronics to win. It's not the case. If you play your strengths, you're gonna do pretty good. That's what this guy just proved. Angler of the Year title. No fish finding. And you look it back, like look at even the professional boat world too. It's like a couple of guys a couple of years back. Everybody's running all these high end fiberglass boats, and then you have John Cox who runs basically a tracker 175 with a 70 horsepower engine on it the whole season. And he kicks ass, he whoops ass. He just fishes really, really shallow where all the other boats can't get to. So is that cheating? No, absolutely it's not. So it's it's huge. That's a whole story we can cover too, because I need to do a lake breakdown video where you pick your strengths and you just optimize on your strengths, and that's it. That's all you do. So if you're not an electronics guy, don't do that. If you are, definitely do it, because not a lot of people understand electronics. Even if they have the money for it, they can't grasp it 100%. So if the conditions are right and you're fishing and you have the proper electronics to do the job and you understand it very well, you're gonna be hard to beat. I'll be honest. So that's how I won the state championship, 4 or 5 years ago, because I felt like in the entire field of guys, I understood my electronics better than everybody else around me. Right. So yeah, I don't have a real advanced one. I have for nowadays. It's at the time I had a Helix 7, so it's a 7-inch Helix with side imaging and external GPS. That's all I had. But uh, today's standard, that is not good. But 5 years ago, that was about average, right? But I knew what I had. I knew how to use it. I knew what I was looking at and what it was. What it was. It a big branch, small branch? Was that fish? Not fish. Okay. Okay. So the next live scope, I don't know, man. I mean, it's gonna get to the point where I think the camera thing is probably gonna be the next thing. Is my thought. Um, I don't think you can go beyond that, because unless they put a restriction on technology, imagine having a camera down there that actually tells you what kind of fish there is, especially in clear water. Think about it like that. Yeah, suspended bass, just straight up finds it for you and comes to the surface and says, "Look, over here, 5 pounder." That might be the next stage. But no, if you pay attention to the tournament world, everybody's talking live scopes, 360s, everything like that. If you pay attention to the St. Lawrence River tournament from the MLF side, they went up there with a those boats have like $30,000 worth of electronics on it. Like, that's not even exaggerating. They went up there, they shut all that stuff off, and they had the little traffic cone thing with a little piece of plexiglass in the bottom. He was doing this, he was fishing like this. Okay, tournament was won like that. Top 10 guys, 6 of them were doing that. I think it was what it was. So live scope out the window, 360 out the window, 2D sonar out the window, imaging out the window. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Okay. Yeah. The reason why dam fishing is so dang popular is, like you said, Mr. Dam Fishing Guy, is You think about fish travel, and then all of a sudden they're all stuck. And within a 20-yard stretch, there could be thousands of fish, right? Thousands. And I've seen it too, thousands of fish. So that's why it's so good. That's why a lot of people like to fish dams. I mean, it can get a little hostile, though, sometimes. But during the spawn, when the white bass striper spawns, any spawn, actually, catfish spawn, gar spawn, yeah, that's like, 'cause sometimes it feels like every cast is there's a fish in the line. So that's how good it can be. Keith Cook. I've tried the Arkansas River by the Jinx Riverwalk last weekend. I had to look. I did catch 4 nice salmons over there. Arkansas River is the most obvious, not obvious fishing location in Tulsa. Okay, because that river is the Arkansas River. Arkansas River has a good population of white bass, good population of striper, a good population of sauger. Okay, those three, good population. The downside is that river goes up and down, so people tend to like wade out there, and then the water comes and they get washed downstream. Just people have died doing that, so I don't highly recommend it. I don't tell too many people about that anymore. I used to fish it quite a bit, but in the past 3 years, I haven't even been out there. But we do want to do a kayak float trip from Arkansas, from Keystone all the way down to 91st. We might do that this year. We're looking at potentially a kayak float, kayak fishing float. Just an idea. Let me know if you guys want to do that. Heads up AR glasses with integrated mapping and bearings to your linked waypoints, trolling motor direction, and potentially live scope display. Oh, okay. That's cool. AR glasses. What is that? Is that a new company? Let me know what that is. Suki Outdoors. Hey, local guy. I know exactly who that guy is. Good singer, too. Good singer, too. Maybe a campfire one of these days. Him with a guitar. Pretty damn good. River, I will give you a good spot and have graduated more spots that I can cover to go from spirits to riverside liquor down store by the animal. Yeah, the Arkansas River, the best time to fish it, in my opinion, is during the summertime. The summertime, uh, especially if they're not running waters. This is where it changes from year to year to year. The Arkansas River is kind of weird. Some years we just get flood after flood after flood, and they never shut the waters off. I actually like the drought seasons where they don't run the water as much, uh, and the pools get real small. The entire river, like 100% of the river, turns into about 10% of what it is, and you basically see these deep holes. You can see these holes from the highway, like when you're on Highway 44. You cross over the river, you can see where these holes are at. And I tell you what, you go out there, you throw top water in that pool, boy, it's gonna be a good day of fishing. I tell you what, that's how we used to do it too. You watch the water release schedule, and you go out there like way, 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 way after it's drained down. Some mighty good fishing out there. Who's that? That one was free. Okay, the damn fishing guy. Yep. Yep. Okay, so if anybody actually wants to go out there, I was talking to this is another subscriber. I was talking to him. This is like 2 years ago, but he actually said he's one of our subscribers too. Before I met him, I didn't give him this tip. But if you guys are all listening, I'll give you this tip that could save your life if you go on the Arkansas River. So this guy, I think it was Ronnie. I think his name was Ronnie. Uh, went out to the Arkansas River, and well, I don't know what happened. Maybe the bell didn't go off, or whatever reason it might be. But he got caught, like that damn fishing guy was saying. He got caught when he waited out there. The water wasn't high, but he got caught on the way back because the water was rising. And when the water rises, it's not a gradual rise. It's almost like a mudslide kind of like rise in the water level. It's quick. It's like 15 seconds, and you can already see it going up quite a bit. So by the time you see it, it's already too late. So basically, he got caught off guard. He tried to come back, but he had to cross a deep hole, and he went under basically. And he said he tried swimming. And he's a pretty good swimmer too. He said that, and he basically got overexhausted, and a guy on the bank had to dive into the water to save his life. And I'm not making that up. That's a true story. Okay, so if you're gonna go out there, here's my tip, right? Wear a life jacket. Wear a life jacket. You don't have to wear those big life jackets, but I'm talking like if you're gonna go on the river, don't get yourself one of those life jackets that it's expensive. It's like $100, but it's one of those like it looks like a vest, and you have to pull on something on a CO2 canister, and it puffs up. Okay, those are much more comfortable way to wear them all day. We wear them on kayaks all day during the summertime. Not a problem, right? And just make sure you get the manual deploy and not the auto deploy instead of, in case you fall in the water, it doesn't go off. So you have to pull it, okay? But that little life jacket is gonna look so ridiculously dumb on you while you're fishing out there in 2 feet of water. I mean that's what it is half the time. Arkansas River is 2 foot of water. But when that water rises to 4 or 5 and it's screaming and you gotta get back to the bank and you don't even care about your equipment, you throw all that stuff out the window and you're just fighting for your life, that life jacket, man, I'm telling you, it's gonna save your life. Yeah, it looks really stupid because you're on land and you got a life jacket. But the thing is, it happens every year. If you pay attention to like KTUL News or the other news channels, it's almost like every month there's a story on firefighters getting a boat out there trying to rescue somebody. So, you know, it's like if you're lucky, they could get you. If you're not, then they recover you. You know, so you don't want to be that guy. All right, we got 9, 10 people online. The Ooga, the Booga, the Ooga, the Booga says hi. Pretty funny. I like that name. Yeah, so yeah, striper stuff, man. Striper stuff is just it's in my blood. You know, like it's one of those striper. It's the striper is the fish that we first experienced that that made you question everything about fishing because it just did. Uh, Growing up, you know, you fish for bluegills, then you fish for crappies, and then you fish for bass. None of those fish make you like lose sleep at night. They don't make you question your equipment as much. It never those fish never bend hooks out like like they're toying with you. It was only until I'll give you my story. I was probably I don't know 14, 15. Yeah, probably 14, 15. Went out to the ocean. This is in like I said, this is back in Massachusetts. We went out and someone had tipped us off saying that if you go out there, throw this big bomber, like before sunlight, throw this big bomber, open water, ocean, cliffs, walls, stuff like that. If you get bit, it'd be a big striper. I've never caught a big striper before. I caught like 18, 19 inches, but never one that was legal size. So up in Massachusetts, legal size is 28 inches. Okay, 28's pretty good. All right, so we get up there, and it was just a cloudy day, cloudy kind of foggy day, and I still remember it too. Like we're typically not striper fishing. We can fish for scup, we fish for blackfish, and that day, you know, I just happened to rig one up for stripers, and my younger brother, 47, was with me, and this is where if the channel had to originate somewhere, this is the moment, right? We get out there, we're digging for crabs and things like that. And my dad, they go to the blackfish, they go to scup immediately. But I was kind of like, I wanna move around. I want to power fish. I want to see if we can catch one of these stripers. So me and my brother, we started exploring. We started walking down the bank basically, or walking on these cliffs, right? And then we get to this one spot, and knowing what I know now, the stripers were chasing mackerel. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, but we didn't have the knowledge to to attack that, right? So I was kind of like, man, with all these big fish like swirling around out there, we just throw something. So I throw something, I get smashed, and I mean, you're 50 years old with a like a 8 foot surf rod. I think 20-pound test mono with a bomber long A. I get smashed, and I had them on for like maybe 2 seconds. And I was just like shaking. I was shaking a little bit. I was like, what was that? Freaking blew my mind. Like, was that a shark? you know? So, long story short, uh, 2 casts later, I hooked up one. And it was big. I mean, it was a good fight, right? For little kids, it was a crazy fight. My brother was there. I was just like, man, you got to go catch this thing because we didn't have a net, we didn't have anything. So, there's like waves and everything. So I bring it up on the rocks. My brother goes there. He tries to catch it. The thing was so slippery he couldn't catch it. So he had to pin it with his foot. That's what it was. So basically, the striper comes to land and he puts his foot on top. And he pins the striper, and the striper can't move back. That was 47. That was good times. And the striper actually almost got away. The hooks tangled on his shoelaces, and we had to undo his shoelaces so we could bring it back. So we actually used the shoelaces as a stringer for the striper. The striper was exactly 28 inches, right? Brought it back. My dad couldn't believe it. My dad about flipped out. He's like, how the heck did I do that? But the next trip, everybody brought striper equipment. We caught a whole mess of it. Yep. Yep. Arkansas River is all about finding the holes. 90% of your fishing is legal holes. Actually, not just Arkansas. River fishing. River fishing in general, you find the holes, you're gonna find fish. Uh, Not out of the question, but also we might be building a jet boat if we can find the pieces cheap enough. The 14 foot John boat has been kind of in retirement mode right now because the big boat's out. We still use it every once in a while, but it's just dying to be rebuilt into a jet boat. So kind of contemplating what I need to do with it, whether to put a 25 horsepower jet on it or buy a jet ski and do a full like jet ski build on a John boat. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. It's already trying to clean it up at 2 hours. It's been online for an hour 40 already, so trying to wrap it up before 2 hours. It's already 9:30 where I'm at. So you got some more video editing to do. Like I said, we'll do our best to keep everybody entertained, I guess, and spread the wealth, spread the knowledge as well. So, a couple last minute questions for everybody, or New Year's type questions. And, little little bass tree right here too. That's it. Pretty cool little bass tree. But yeah. Yeah, the world of the Arkansas River is always interesting because you see all types of stuff there. I mean, you gotta be careful out there too, just because not just because of the water, but there's a lot of random activities that happen out there. If you know what I mean. Um, so watch out for a bunch of homeless people. Um, Watch out for glass. in the rivers. Watch out for snakes. I seen a water snake come up through there. Really, really weird. I seen sturgeon out there, shoveling old sturgeon. I believe I saw the state record out there on the Arkansas River. I believe I did because I think the record's only like 30. It's like 31 inches or something like that for the state record. The shovel nose sturgeon, and I believe I saw 36. Like I believe I saw them. I tried to go catch it, but I couldn't. You know, that's the thing too. Like going fishing with our subscribers and stuff. I don't know about going fishing with everybody, but everybody's been wanting to do a like a subscriber meet and greet. So we'll probably end up doing something like that in the springtime. That way, everybody can come out, everybody can go fishing, everybody can do a catch and cook. That way, you knock out like 5 different things in one day. Then after that, we could do a float, down the river. Assuming we do this at Keystone, right? Keystone Dam. And we can all meet up early, do a lot of fishing, catch and cook, power nap, and then afternoon do the float downstream, which will probably take like 6-7 hours to do. So during the summertime, it'll probably be the best time to do it. And hopefully the water won't be on, or if it's on, it's just like a little bit of water. Expert Aim 23, come to Tennessee for striped bass. DM me if you're interested. We have actually talked about coming to Tennessee, Kentucky Lake Arm. What's it called? Yeah, that arm of lakes. You guys have crazy stripers up there too. I've seen some videos, and you guys are crazy. You guys go right up to the dams. That's illegal in our state. But I guess in your state it's fine. But you guys got some pretty nice ones, man. I'm gonna say some pretty nice ones. But we got some nice ones too. Don't get me wrong. We do have some nice ones. We just haven't been pursuing as hard as we should. Our circle of friends and our friends' circles, yeah, they pull out some donkeys. I'm telling you, they pull out some donkeys. I mean, that's the stuff that nobody will believe you unless you show them pictures. And they got the pictures to prove it. So, and they're fishing in areas that are not very obvious. So the most obvious areas are dams, at least in Oklahoma. Like that's very obvious that should be a lot of big stripers. Like the Fallout Dam, Weber Falls, Robert S. Kerr. Like those are huge dams. They gotta have huge stripers. But some of these other guys, man, they be catching up big old stripers up in little creeks. That's all I gotta say about it. They do real good too. And they catch up on top water. Oh, it's like, damn, that's what I want. So, coming year, there's a lot more exploring. So I've been telling my dad, yeah, a lot more exploring for squirrels, squirrel hunting, hog hunting, deer hunting. Might even sneak in a turkey hunt, possibly dove hunting, all that stuff. So, if you guys, uh, you know, if you're not much of a hunter, you might know something. If you guys are hunters and you're like, why the heck is this an outdoors channel? And you guys are like, you know, doing anything like on the other side of outdoors and fishing and hunting, then you're gonna be surprised. 2022 is gonna be there's gonna be at least a couple of catching cooks, and I guess you call it killing cooks, whatever you want. Yep. Yeah, our stripers they do run up rivers, and I had some crazy experiences in Arkansas on Lake Darnell. That was when we first moved out here, and we got some little creeks that are fast in stripers too. So I don't know, man. It's gotta be right moment, right time. So uh, our our lakes here, Texoma. I want to go to Texoma when the stripers are like truly running, where there's like 30, 40 pounders in like 2 foot of water. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want to actually see. But that lake's kind of weird though. It's real murky, so I don't know if you can actually see the activity. But I'm assuming you go up in those areas, you throw a blind bait around, and it's gonna be mayhem. So those are the goals for next year. Like, you gotta go find those moments that kind of takes your breath away, man. Because what I was trying to explain to my dad is, here, this is the difference between tournament fishing and just traditional fishing. Okay, this is where it boils down to. It boils down to the memories and the good times you might have. In the tournament fishing world, if you when you win a tournament, there's probably three guys that'll like celebrate, that truly are happy for you, and will come up and be like, "Man, good job! You know, truly good job!" Right? Well, everybody else is kind of like sour. They're kind of like, "Damn, got my ass kicked." And I feel like that too sometimes. You know, if I'm all losing instincts, like, "Yeah, I got my ass kicked." And then uh, versus traditional fishing, this is just fishing in general, right? Everybody has a good time. You know, everybody has a good time. Whether that's just something that the doctor prescribed, you know, like you need to just escape life for a little bit. You use it as a therapy thing. You know, like you stay home, it's so polluted in the cities. You go fishing, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's quiet, serenity. You know, get your mind off some stuff. It's great. You might be there by yourself too. Cool. Or it could be floating a river, having some drinks, catching a couple of fish, about to go set up camp. That's super fun. Everybody wins. And that's the thing, you know, it feels like when you fish for fun or fish for just uh, yourself or you fish for your buddies, everybody wins. Or if you go to a tournament, one person wins. Okay, so uh, that's how it is. And I think that's why we're kind of going back to, because I've won a couple times and it feels really good to win. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's like it's an addiction, right? But at the same time, it's you win, and then the next day it starts all over. Uh, you could talk about it, but it's not the same type of talk, you know. Like you can explain how you won a tournament to your friends that came in second and third, and they're not always smiling with you. Okay, whereas if you had a cookout on the river, anybody was super drunk, whatever, and somebody did something stupid, or you guys just had a blast, right? And then the next day, it says everybody had a good time. Everybody's on smiles. That's what we want. That's what we want going forward. All right. So, uh, let's see. Dams are overpopulated with people. Okay, yeah, they are. I mean, that's the fact of the. But that's just what it is, man. Dams are just one. They're super easy to find on Google. So that's community hole number one. Uh, and like I said, it's like all the fish get there and they get stuck. So statistically, it's the best place to go fish. It is. It has to be. Okay, so tip for the guys that fish dams: either you get there early, get your spot, or you get there late and you show up with good equipment that can cast from really far. Because a lot of times, especially the last couple of years, especially at Keystone, I mean, we got some videos out, and it's no wonder why it's so popular right now. It's not just because of us; there's a bunch of other people doing it. But uh, a lot of times, I feel like the fish have gotten smart, you know, so they don't come to the shore anymore. They stay way out there. They stay way out there. And that's where your maybe possibly $1,000 setup has to come in. That'll allow you to make that 100, 125 yard cast. Because if you're not doing that, you're not getting any fish. You're not even getting bit. So that's it. That is what it is, man. It's the evolution of dam fishing. And people have built damn boats. People have dropped drones, taking drones and fly them over the dam and drop mowers. It's gotten quite advanced, actually. Think about it like that. All right, it's coming up on 2 hours. Got 10 minutes left, so let me see what I gotta address before we close this up. Any questions? Just keep going at it. But yeah, I think that's to wrap things up. Kind of channel is probably gonna go back to the old school stuff, more of the old school stuff. So more reviews, more striper stuff. We'll probably even do bad reviews, like stuff that we don't like. Okay, so that way everybody can understand what we do like, what we don't like, and the things we want to do and the things we don't want to do. Okay, so maybe touch upon tournament strategies for the guys that want to still do that, but I don't feel like that's our main focus going into the next year. Definitely spend some more time with my dad. He's getting a little old. We just gave him his 60th birthday celebration, so dad's up there in age, and we're gonna spend a lot more time with him. So you guys will definitely see more of OOW dad. And what else we got? A lot more redneck stuff. Like, this is stuff that we never filmed, but we did all the time. Like wading in the water. That is something that we did all the time, but we just never filmed. We're gonna do more of that this year for sure. Uh, just the basic, like they call it choking, where you just take live bait. Carolina rig, go big chunk of bait out there, don't sit, and maybe the catfish will hit it or whatever hits it will hit it. Do we have skipjack? We do have skipjack in our state. Some places is plentiful, some places pretty rare. Arkansas River has it. That's where I usually see it, skipjack. I've actually caught it. I've actually caught skipjack with a top water. Yeah, top water, cargo top water. It's pretty crazy because as soon as you hook them, they jump like crazy. But they have paper mouths, so a lot of times they'll rip their mouths and come out. Where are you from? You're from Tulsa area? Tulsa area. Let's see. Yeah, we could talk forever though. Tournament strategies, stripers, top water stripers, nighttime cranking for stripers, when to do that, does the moon affect anything, all that jazz, So definitely a lot more information to give out. A lot more top fives. It's been a while since we did top five stuff, so a lot of people like the top fives. Definitely gonna do that. Where's my top five pad? Top five things you need to go pan fishing. Like one of those videos. Top five things you need to be successful in tournament fishing. Top five things to put on your kayak. Little stuff like that. Kaylee Wiseman. I just turned 18. Cool. Well, everybody was 18 at one point. 18 is probably the one of the best years you'll have. 18 to about. I think 18 is probably one. 21 is a little overrated, but 24, I really like 24. 24 is when you hopefully graduate from college or at least gotten like some type of stability in your life, got to get a paying job or something. What braid do we use? So when it comes to braid, there's really one type. Uh, if we're Power Pro guys, so if you're just doing like traditional things like putting, if say you just need a braid, but you don't need anything special from that braid. Like you don't need it to cast bar, you don't need it to be silent, you don't need it to all that other stuff that the good braids can you. I still like the original Power Pro. The original, I think it's a 4-strand Power Pro in red. For some reason, I think red works better. It's stronger. 10-pound Power Pro original in red. I know red's kind of red. I don't know why. Because for some reason, it feels like when you buy the green one, I think they have a yellow. It might have a yellow. Or the green and white. They seem to break off more than when you buy the red. The red, for some reason, I don't know why. Red. I'm a big fan of red. Big fan of red. And then if you need if you need the ability to cast long, Power Pro Max Quattro. We've already tested that theory. If you need just absolute distance, that 20-pound Max Quattro is ridiculous. It'll throw, my goodness, you put 150 yards on your spool, you will cast out 150 yards. It's that good. It's that good. I'm not even the one that proved it. Like 47 proved it over and over again. So, but the only downside is 20 is real thin. So if you hit any rocks, abrasion resistance is not very good. So as long as it's a top water or that type of stuff, keep the fish above the rocks most of the time. Man, that 20 is pretty legit too. I mean, he whips it super hard to the point where I think he was going to snap it on the cast, but it doesn't snap either. So, hey Peter, what's up? My name is Pablo. I'm actually texting you about your car's extended warranty. Yeah, I already bought extended warranty from my truck, so I'm gonna have to deny that one. Next time. How often do you change your line? Uh, Braid, maybe 3 times a year. Depends on what we're doing. On our bass fishing setups, the braid is on there for the entire year. Okay. On our striper setups, if we get stuck a lot, if we pull them a lot to break the hook or break the line or something, a lot of times you end up running out of line, and then you have to respool. So that's usually when we do it. So maybe 3 times a year. But if it's fluorocarbon mono, man, that's like if you're fishing tournaments, you should. It's every tournament you should be placing because when you're playing for money, you can't let line breakage be the downside, the downfall of your day. So for the most part, for when we go out, if the line on the reel has been backlashed one time, change it. If it's been out more than one day of fishing, change it. Just, I've lost I've lost too much money not changing line. That should be a no-brainer if you want to change your line before all your tournaments. Um, what's it? You like Vax more than V2 Slick? Yeah, I do. I actually do because of the price. I think it's what it is. So for depends on what you like, right? So if you just want braid, yeah, I just want the cheapest line that could get the job done, and I like the original. But beyond that, I don't care too much about a quiet line. The V2 slicks are all about quiet lines, and for me, I either want the braid that's cheap that can do the job, which is the original, or I want the one that just gives me straight distance, right? And that's straight distance, okay? And that's the Max Quattro. The V2 is thicker in diameter, but it's quiet. But at the same time, it's like I don't really care too much if it's quiet or not. I feel like the quietness doesn't affect the fish biting you and not biting you. Okay, that I haven't convinced myself. So I think that's like a marketing scheme. It's a quiet line. It goes through the guides quiet. And when you hook up on a fish, when you reel it, it doesn't like give you that scratching sound. You know, I don't think the fish care. To be honest with you. Yeah. Braided line. We've gone through a lot of braided line too. I mean, I've got like a 30% off discount through Suffix, and I ran the Suffix 832. I ran a 30 pound for a while. It's a nice quiet braid. It's like a V2 slick, and it's big. I do a lot for my bass fishing stuff, and it was all right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've never broken anything. That 30 pound is real strong, but like it's a lot thicker. So like for for pulling bass out of vegetation, it looks really good. But it never got you like when I'm fishing that line, I don't expect distance out of it. I'm making 20, 30 yard casts with my bait caster, and it looks great. And I'm throwing my frogs on it. It works pretty good. But once you go to the Max Quattro, and then we've transitioned to Max Quattro on everything, even on the bass fishing side, 30, 40, and 30 pound, or what is it? The lines we run was 20 pound, 30 pound, 50 pound, 65, and 80 on the Max Quattro. And the 20 is when we throw surf rods. 30 is still surf rods and top water, little top waters and big catchers. The 50, I like the 50 when I'm on, what was it? 50, 65 are almost interchangeable. Like, so when you're on like a bigger top water, or if it's a good all around line, like the 50 and 65 all around. It can do a lot of small stuff, it can do most of your big stuff. Okay, so like for example, we throw on frogs and pads, lily pads or grass, 50, 65 can do it. But if I have my choice, I have it to 80. Just because when I'm fishing frogs, I don't want to retie a lot. And if you go to 80, you tie once in the morning, you good all day. No matter how many fish you catch. It's 50 pounds, 60 pounds, you should probably retie it. Every hour. Probably retie it. That knot's gonna give up. And I've broken the knots before. Especially if you have a real strong hook set, kind of like Hua, my brother. Yeah, that guy will snap 65 pound braid. And I don't know how he does it. I can't do it. For him, I always tell him, you need to step it up to 80 because you be breaking stuff. So it's ridiculous, sometimes. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for tonight. That's 2 hours, a little over 2 hours already. So we'll see you guys again next Thursday. And for all the guys that gave us a little bit of incentive to keep doing this, appreciate every one of you. And we'll do this again next week. All right. New Year's to you, everybody. Sign off.